fifth graders, this is lesson number 26, and we're first going to go over word problems with number sequences. So, number 1, it says, last year, Springtown Hardware ordered 3 hammers in November, 9 hammers in December, 27 hammers in January, and 81 hammers in February. If this pattern continues, how many hammers will the store order in March? So each time, months are increasing from November, the 11th month, to December the 12th month, January to the 1st month, February to the 2nd month, and now we're finding the 3rd month, March. So we start with 3 hammers in November, and then 9, and then 27, and then 81, and we're trying to find the next immediate one. So if you notice, the pattern is multiplying by 3. If you don't notice that at first, you can try different order of operations. You can try if the plus works, addition works, subtraction works, or multiplication or division, but you'll find that multiplication works and the pattern is multiply by 3. So to find the next one after 81, you have to multiply 3 to 81, and you should get 243 as your final answer, and that's how many hammers will be ordered in March. Now the second section we're going to go over is objects on the coordinate plane, and it says use the coordinate grid to work out the coordinates below. So number 1, it already gives us the answer, and I'm just going to explain briefly about the coordinate plane. So the one that I'm going to highlight in purple is the x-axis, and the one that I'll highlight in orange is the y-axis. And the coordinates below is shown as indicated by the circle as parentheses, an integer, comma, integer in parentheses. Now the first integer, it represents the x-axis, and the second one represents the y-axis. And to remember this is that x comes before y in the alphabet, and that also applies to the coordinate. So now the circle one, the circle in the coordinate plane is shown over here, the one that I circled in black, and they will negative 5, 4 as the coordinate, which makes sense because so the circle connects to 2 points, I'll show you in red, the x-axis with the negative 5, and the 4 in the y. And so that makes it up. So the y-axis is 4, the x-axis is negative 5, which is how they got negative 5, 4 as their coordinate. So now let's just do number 2, which is a square. And the square can be shown in, this time I'm going to do it in blue, over here. And that connects to the x-axis of 3 and to the y-axis of 6. So we can write that as 3, 6. Simple. Now the third section we're going to go over is graph points on a coordinate plane. Now this time we're going to graph it, though it works the exact same way. So we're just going to go over number 1 together. So number 1 says 2, 10. 2 represents the x, 10 represents the y. So the coordinates can be written as shown by xy. So x is 2. Let me just draw a purple line for it. This is all the x equals 2 line. Now I'm going to use the orange to represent the 10 equals 10 line. Y equals 10 line. Now the point that intersects those 2 lines is where the coordinate is. And I'm going to explain I'm going to do number 4 as well. So it's 2, 2, simple. So both x and the y are 2. So I'm going to graph the 2. So the 2, I'm going to use it the same line. And the orange is this line. And the intersection is where 2, 2 is located. Now the last section is the graph points on expand the coordinate plane. So different from the previous one where you just show one side, the positive side, in fact, this one shows the negative x and the positive y side. So the way we label this is quadrant 1 and this is quadrant 2. So now we're going to do both quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. Now I'm going to go over number 1 and number 3 together. So I'm going to go over number 1 and number 2 together to show both the negative and the positive. So 1 is 0, so this is this line, it's just this 0 line. And 3 is the y-axis, which is over here. which can be represented by this single point, 0, 3. So as you start to identify this better, you won't need to draw these lines that I drew over here, the purple and the orange line that I drew. So number 2, we're going to do that, which is -2, which can be seen right here. And the 5, which can be seen right here. And the intersection of that point over here is where -2, 5 is located. And that's it for today.